just fed this, so it's got 50 gram of flour and 50 ml of water. So it's just looking, you know, pretty murky. And what I do is I put a elastic band so that I know when it's doubled. When it's doubled, it's ready to go. So your starter might take a few feeds for it to get going. So like twice a day or once a day, depending on when you want to start baking. But just put the lid on loose, and you can keep it in a warm place for it to get quicker. Otherwise, you can even put it in the fridge if you don't want to bake for a few days. Okay, so here's the starter, and as you can see, the rubber band is where it started, and you can see that it's up to here now, so it's doubled. And if you have a look inside, how beautifully and bubbly it is, and that is ready to go. And if it was in Smell-O-Rama, you'd be able to smell it. Okay, so I'm going to stop it, and what I'm going to do now is get the other ingredients. So wait a minute. Okay, so I've got 2 bowls. That one's going to be for the wet. This one's for the dry. So we need 3 cups of flour. So I'm using the 00 flour. You can use any flour. So 1, 2, 3. You can guess that's 3. And a teaspoon of salt. Okay, lucky I stopped the video because the salt was in the large room. So I'm just going to put the spoon there. No, that doesn't work. Anyway, it's a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put that in, and I'll go back to the white. So, okay. So that's in there. So just mix it around. Okay, and then mix all the salt around with your hand, and then just make a little well. Okay. Now with this one here, first of all, get your wooden spoon, and just make sure it's nice. Let's put that, let me see if that works. If you're going to do like a weight thing, you don't do this, but it's because I'm using the cup measurement from the lady from Texas. And we'll go back to here, and we'll put in a 1/2 cup. So this is a 1/2 cup measurement. I can't read that. I'm sure it says 1/2 cup. And we put in our 1/2 cup. And then a cup of water. So we'll get a cup of water.
No, they say filtered water.
Okay. So I'll just stop this for a bit. Okay, so here we are, and then we just stir it round with a whisk until it's all dissolved. So that's what we do. And once all that is put together, we then put it into the flour, and then just stop that. And now the fun bit. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do this with 2 hands, 1 hand. So we just put it all together. Okay, just use your hands, and I'll stop it, and when it's all together, I'll show you. Okay, so this is how it looks. If you've done all those measurements, nice sticky hands. And then you just, once you put it all together, just leave it for 30 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so grab a bit of flour and flour your bench. Take out, this is after 30 minutes, but in fact, it's more than 30 minutes because Peter rang, and you know he's a gas bag, so it's hard to get him off the phone. Anyway, so here we go. We basically all we're going to do now is shape it. Okay, so you can knead it a little bit if you want, and we just shape it. So just bring it, stretch it out. Like so. And then, courtesy of Felix filming, by the way. Say hello, Felix.
Hello.
And then shape it again, like that. Put a bit more flour on. And then we just shape it. So we're just kind of tucking it under and we're turning it around. And then, once that's all done, get a bit of baking paper. And put a bit of flour on it. Once we think that's all done, it's pretty good. And then I will grab a bowl. Put the bread like that in the bowl. Then I like to reuse the flour. Don't like to waste anything. And sprinkle that on top. Put on the wet towel. Okay. So the Dutch oven has been in the oven for 1 hour. So I'm going to take it out, put in the bread. And now I have to score it. And I don't have a proper scoring thing, so I'm just going to cut it with a knife. It's just not quite right. You need a razor blade or something really, really sharp. We don't have them. So let's just do that, make a pretty pattern. There. So the lid goes on, put it in the oven, 30 minutes with the lid on, at the highest temperature. We now have to take the lid off the Dutch oven. See how crowded my kitchen is?
What do you mean?
So you can come and have a look at. So let's put this down with hot. Ow! And then we go on for another 10-15 minutes. Let's put it on for 10. Okay.
No, I don't.
Oh, you're flipping putting more stuff in the freezer.
No.
Mom, you're taking my brownie spot.
You just have to...
All right, and it is done. And let's get this working. Have a look. Turn that off. And let's take it out of the Dutch oven. Which I find it easier.
Vegan nachos.
Lex, I'm videoing.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's burnt.
Not burnt. I actually did forget to turn it down. You're supposed to turn it down to 230 when you take it off. But it's supposed to be hollow.
Ready to eat?
Give it a few minutes. Okay, done.